Well, we're back under safer conditions.
You're gonna that's our intro? Can you go straight into it?
We're all business here now. People have been complaining that we try and make too many jokes. That's a lie. No one's complained so far.
No, like, Stephen Moore, when we emailed him, remember when he responded?
Don't put him on blast like that. Let's not get on a blacklist. Let's not get on a blacklist.
You don't know where I'm going with this.
You're going to say
that... You don't know where I'm going with this.
He thought it was too pedantic.
He said we had a little too much, was it persiflage? Persiflage? Yeah.
I'd take that as a compliment.
Yep. But he did say we're really good together.
Yeah. What a guy.
Yeah.
What an amazing...
Stephen Moore, a.k.a.
Oh, we couldn't get it.
Internationally recognized William Gaddis expert. He literally wrote the biography on Gaddis.
Yeah.
Which, you know what, I'm surprised that, like, that a publisher would publish that, given that Gaddis is, like, yeah, he's important, but he's read by very few. Yeah,
but at, like, that point, I'm pretty sure he became, like, an underground darling. You know, like, it was kind of the cool thing to do. I don't know who released his book, but I'm pretty sure it might not have been like a...
I mean, it's pretty recent, like 2015, wasn't it? It came out?
Probably sooner or earlier than that.
Well, let me check it out. Let me see. Let me pull up on the interwebs here. Well, let's see. If I go to my Amazon app, shout out to Amazon.
Jeffrey Bezos.
Let's see. So
you would pick me as a Bo Burnham fan.
His biography came out in. Why are you mocking me?
I don't know.
2015. I was right. You owe me a soda. I don't drink soda. You owe me a kombucha. To be precise, came out February 26, 2015. For those of you out there, it's called William Gaddis. That's actually the name of it. Just William Gaddis.
Hey.
There's no subheadline or anything.
Pure and simple. That's what we like.
Straight to the point. Which is not what Gaddis is known for.
What Gaddis is known for. Not at all.
Yeah.
Kind of misses the point. No.
Well, he
goes around the point.
But yet, if you analyze it, it's kind of directly the point. Very weird.
Yeah. Beautiful, nonetheless.
Yeah. If you hear any gnawing in the background, it's Beau's parents' dog.
Yeah, I'm dog sitting for my folks while they're in Florida, and they adopted a basset hound puppy. His name is Elvis. Elvis. Look at them big old ears.
And then last week when you said you were watching Elvis,
you thought I meant the crappy movie?
Yeah. I was like, wait, he's watching it for that long?
Gosh, no. I already did watch that movie because I wanted to see what all the hype was about.
Yeah.
And I realized it was just as stupid as Bohemian Rhapsody hype was. Mm-hmm. And if not more so offensive to the viewer. There's a good biopic, you know, a good type of biopic that I like. And that's not one of them. When it speed runs through an entire person's life and tries and dumb it down or water it down.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so mind-numbing to me. Why someone would be like, yeah, that's accurate. That's all right. You know, it's like, no, Elvis was not. Elvis was many a thing. Elvis at one point tried to get Richard Nixon to recruit him into the CIA to help spy on the Beatles and other counterculture people. He hated the counterculture.
I believe that. I mean, he came from the 50s.
Yeah. And they were like, oh, he's so upset about, you know. I don't know. I feel like it was just trying to whitewash him all the time.
Well, he was a big deal, and then he got taken over by the Beatles.
Yeah. And then
so, like, really, I mean, I guess it's kind of like this with every band who gets big, but it's like you get really big and then
people don't want you.
People don't want you.
And
I mean, I was listening to like Bill Maher always says, like, 'cause he interviews all these like big music legends and stuff, and his thing is like, if you're like one of the creme de la creme bands, like at the most, you'll have a decade. Like, at the most.
Yeah.
You know, he's like the Beatles were the 60s, Led Zeppelin was the 70s. There's a few bands competed for the 80s.
Yeah,
like,
some people just don't want you around long enough. And that's the weird thing about society is that they have such a weird attention span. They want to see you rise, and then they will instantly try and make you fall.
well, I don't know if it's so much they want to see you fall. I just think since music's constantly evolving,
I mean, yeah,
like if your
that
sound,
is also a big part.
if
of
your
it.
sound does not evolve with it,
But people
you kind of get lost.
They will easily get turned on you. That's the thing.
Yeah.
No matter what, artistically, personally, it is what it is.
Does that mean our podcast is gonna have to evolve over the years?
Yeah, it's in a constant state of evolution. We're still working things out, man.
So
Maybe that's the appeal.
Changes every week.
That is the appeal. All right.
All right, Beau. Let's see if you can use this new. So Beau's using a new bottle opener that I've never seen before, but it's his. He claims he knows how to use it.
Well,
He's tipping it over. That's not going to go well.
shoot.
He can't even use it. Oh, Beau. Did you get
Oh,
it?
mother.
Third time's the charm. Nope, fourth time.
Okay.
You know what, Beau? I've never even used this bottle opener, and I will get it the first time. So for those of you,
There we go. All I did, Jesus.
for those of you
Christ.
listening, the one that Beau tried to use and failed, it's called Bar Supply from New York City. It's a bottle opener I've never seen before, but apparently it encapsulates the entire cap, and you push it down like a stapler.
It's like you bop it. You got to be kidding me. Yeah. Oh, my Lord.
I got it. First try.
Why is this?
I am a professional bottle opener, and you are not, Beau.
I like how we try and plan these, tropes about like what we do. Like we'll do like things. Stop it, Elvis.
Things that Beau sucks at?
No.
Opening bottles?
We have like somewhat gags. Like we do things every episode, but why is it unintentionally that I don't know how to use a bottle opener?
That's on you, not on
Like I
me.
don't like it that people are probably being like, "Wow, why is this guy not able to
I mean,
open
maybe-
a bottle cap?"
If you're listening, send Beau a message on.
Please
give him some
don't.
tips on opening bottles.
You don't have to. It's fine.
With that in mind, shout out to Topo Chico.
Yep, unofficial sponsor.
Unofficial sponsor. I keep trying to get him to sponsor us. Think they ever will?
No,
No, yeah.
probably not. They don't even. I wouldn't. Well, I would like to think there's some book nerd out there working for Topo Chico PR or something like that.
I mean, I have to keep tagging them in our posts.
Oh, I don't. I should do that.
I follow them, but
I do like I don't know. I'll make the post
you know,
and then I'll just have Emma do the hashtags. Hashtag bookstagram. Hashtag coffee. Hashtag cat life. Hashtag books. Stuff like that.
So you know, yesterday how I sent you the churches video they're playing on Tonight Show, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I shared that tweet like, oh, at Once Upon a Time, we're big fans of churches, and I tagged them in it just for hoping they would kind of respond or something. Just,
And they didn't.
not yet.
They're a big time band. That was a great concert.
Oh my gosh, I'm still thinking about that show, man.
That was honestly the best. That was one of the best concerts I've been post COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Because most crowds are totally different now. Mm-hmm. I mean, but they were.
I mean, I just-
them Big Thief, Parquet Courts was pretty good.
I mean, I would say, legitimately, Churches is probably my top 5 favorite bands of all time.
Ooh, they're one of my. I mean, I kind of grew up, in high school through college.
Yeah.
What was
It's
their
like
second record?
Everything they, the blue one.
No,
Yeah, it was.
it wasn't.
Because the Bones
It
We
was-
Believe is,
Every Open Eye.
yeah, the blue one.
It's not blue.
Oh, well, yeah, it's true. It was in my mind, though.
But that one has,
Leave Without a Trace, right?
yeah, but it has Clearest Blue. the
Clearest
song,
Blue, yeah. But no, I mean, gosh, like,
Dude, that
Like,
album
like,
is great.
When I don't know what to listen
man.
to, it's usually either like White Lies, put them on shuffle, put Churches on shuffle. Like everything they put out is good. And just,
Wow, the blue,
you know,
the
I'd
build
probably
up to
that's probably,
Clearest Blue is fantastic.
yeah.
I remember Leave a Trace came out the summer, going into my sophomore year of college, and drive with the girlfriend at the time, and that song.
This
would be
one of your
playing, Leave a
girlfriends
Trace.
who,
Yeah, this was the
Yeah.
first heartbreak.
yeah.
Leave a Trace was just released, and I was obsessed with it.
Oh, yeah.
Riding down the interstate of Missouri, going back to Kansas City. This is good memories. That's a great album. There's a lot of...
Their first album's really good too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so good. I think the only one that I'm not a big fan of is Love is Dead. But
Yeah.
I don't think anyone really is. And I don't think it's that bad of a record.
But yeah, you know what?
But
Like,
it's definitely not up far.
That's one of those, if you revisit it, like it's not bad. Like it's some songs are catchy.
No, here's the thing.
Like
With the way that the internet and everything is nowadays, people like overly objectify opinion,
yeah.
right? So when you say, "Oh, that record is bad," people are like, "Oh, clear cut, black and white. It's
Yeah.
awful. Don't listen to it." No, right? Because if you like an artist, their bad records are probably better than someone you're not interested in's best record.
No, yeah.
You know,
Well,
like,
especially like a band like Churches, where at this point, what do they have, like 5 or 6
I
records?
think they got
Like
four
they
or
have a
five.
reputation, like where even if you're not crazy about a song, like they have credibility, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean they constantly get asked to collaborate with other people. Yeah, they got four albums out.
Yeah.
Screen Violence, man, that was pretty good.
Dude, Screen Violence, so good.
It's almost 2 years old now.
Yeah.
Gosh, time flies, man. What do you know? They have a new the new single out is really good too.
Over the video for it is amazing.
Yeah, man. Well, you thought you were in for a treat with a part 2 of Recognitions, but what you're getting is a deep dive into the Church's discography.
And if you're if you're listening and you've never even heard of Churches,
Look them up. It's Churches with a V.
with a V,
Not with a U.
CHVRCHES.
I don't know why.
They wanted to be different.
That's fine.
They probably want to differentiate themselves from the church.
The Church, the hit or the cult classic 1989 Italian horror film, The Church.
No, that's not what I was referencing. The band, The Church. Is it Under the Milky Way Tonight?
Oh, what was it?
Under the
Wish you
Milky Way tonight.
hope
I
you
wish it
find
come
that
to
you
them
find-
to fighting for. I don't know the words.
I wish I knew
What you were looking for. That's
Might have known what
What
you
you
could
would-
find. Oh, dude, I love that song. That's one of my
Such-
favorite songs.
so
I have
good.
an album by them
yeah.
that I
They're-
got on vinyl that I've never heard before.
Name the film.
it's not
That's the
Reptile.
opening scene plays that song.
It's not Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko, I think.
I thought it was Killing Moon. The Echo and the Bunnymen.
I get
Emma
those two
was
mixed
wanting to
up.
watch that movie the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, you know how depressing this movie is?
Oh, Donnie Darko. It's a love story, man.
It's depressing.
He literally dies for Jenna Malone.
Does he die for Jenna Malone, or does he die for other reasons?
No, he dies for her. He knows what's coming, but he dies. He lets it happen.
It's been
Let me look up the
8
Donnie Darko
years.
soundtrack.
8 years since I've seen that movie.
Gosh, I own it.
I know. I mean, I own it. I just haven't. I have a disliking of. I don't hate Jake Gyllenhaal. He's great in some things. He's great in Enemy, Prisoners,
Yeah,
Nightcrawler.
yeah.
In that movie, but I don't know. I'm not gonna go out of my way to see a Jake Gyllenhaal movie. I don't really think anyone should. He's good in Zodiac. But those are all good directors. That's my point. I see a movie who's behind the flipping camera.
Yeah.
Care less who's in front of it.
Let me see here.
Jonathan.
Yeah, it's definitely not the church.
Warren Track caught.
Oh no, it's Killing Moon.
I
Echo the
know
Bunny
my
Man.
movies. Yeah. That's off of the Seven Seas album.
Boom.
Seven Seas.
See, Tears for Fears is on there.
Yeah, I mean,
Ooh,
it's one of the
two
best.
Tears for Fears.
Yeah.
Duran Duran. Of course, Love Will Tear Us Apart.
Yeah, in Axis.
Oh, wait. No, Under the Milky Way does play.
It does play, but it's not the opening.
No. That's kind of like it's the party scene, right?
Man, that's a downer of a party song. That would be what I would play at a party. I'm that guy at a party who would like play the Cure unironically.
Oh yeah.
You know?
But here's the thing.
Like the poppy Cure songs that are like really depressing still.
Here's the thing. We should throw a party.
No, that'd be so bad.
No. Seriously, let's throw a party. We will curate, handpick the songs.
What?
It'll be a great party.
That would be a party full of dudes who are like book nerds.
No. Well, it'll be fun.
I mean, it would be fun to us. It would be more. Oh man. Oh, we should do a recognitions style party.
The recognitions. like in the recognitions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
I mean, what would that look like, though?
I mean,
to be honest, I don't really understand what was going on in the party.
we would just have people in like pinstripe suits. Like that era of style and glamour, and
But we don't know
just be talking in unison. And
But we don't know what style is. It doesn't actually give any dates in here.
you can infer if it's in the 1940s. They're
But
wearing.
is it in the 1940s?
Yeah, it's in the late
When does
40s.
it say that? Where does it say that?
What? I'm pretty sure it's inferred upon that it's 1940s. How did that happen? I got a new. Oh, I already bent my copy of Swan's Way.
Oh, jeez.
It's pretty
But
bad.
no, seriously, we should throw a party.
Man, that would either be the coolest party of all time, like Gatsby-esque, or it would be like really lame.
Speaking of Gatsby-esque.
Oh, yeah? I got some kids who are reading Gatsby
Yeah.
and Fahrenheit 451, yeah.
Yeah, both good novels.
I would disagree. I think one of them's a good novel, and one of them has really cool ideas.
is not The Great Gatsby.
No,
I will say.
no, I would prefer. I think I'm gonna reread The Great Gatsby now that I'm older.
Yeah.
No, I think Fahrenheit 451. I think Bradbury has some great ideas and the quotes.
Yeah.
It's just it's a slog.
You gotta read This Side of Paradise, man.
Before Great Gatsby.
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me.
Great. But no, speaking of Gatsby-esque.
Speaking of Gatsby,
Have I told you one of my bucket list things? One of my crazy ideas?
you're gonna live on a lake with a green.
with a giant billboard with eyeglasses for an optometrist. No,
Green
I want
lantern
to
that looks over you.
crash a Gatsby-esque party in the Hamptons one summer.
You're gonna crash a party
I'm
in
gonna-
the Hamptons.
Yeah, or
That
on
isn't-
Cape Cod, something like that. You know.
That is an oddly specific thing on your bucket
And
list.
you know how I'm gonna do it?
Huh.
So you know how all those homes are kind of like on the water. So I will sneak on the beach and I'll come in through the back,
Ah.
so nobody knows. They're just like, who are you? I'm like, I'm friend that guy. Yeah, we went to college together, or I'm that guy's nephew or some distant relative.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, recognitions.
Back to it. So,
Back to it.
yeah, we got cut off last time.
Yeah,
So-
the storm actually apparently cut off a little bit of our audio.
We thought we got in a full episode, but apparently when Beau was editing this, he realized we only had about 2/3 of it.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd give you another episode.
Just a little. We call this an epilogue,
Yep.
right?
Well, I don't know if we can call it an epilogue because we didn't finish the first time, at least on the recording.
Yeah. Hey, stop it! You don't need to go through those.
Maybe
wires.
we'll call it the final inning.
Okay, Mr. Ken Burns.
Yeah. I mean, we are.
Ken Burns' episode
we do have
of the recognition.
We have a baseball game on right now.
Yeah, it's pretty fitting. Pirates versus Reds.
Probably a better game than the Cardinals game.
And more than likely.
I always like the Pirates mascot,
I do too.
parrot. But yeah,
Good old
so
Buccos.
what are we gonna talk about today?
You need to read the last excerpt. The
last line?
Last couple lines, yeah.
Okay. So, the last line of the book is kind of regarded as kind of encapsulating of kind of what Gaddis was all about, or what he thought his work was going to be about, or how he, his perception of the public's response to the publication of the recognitions. So this takes place, spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
It's about Stanley. It goes, quote, "He was the only person caught in the collapse, and afterward, most of his work was recovered too, and it is still spoken of when it is noted with high regard, though seldom played."
Mm-hmm.
So I think Gaddis really saw himself in Stanley, or at least he saw the recognitions in Stanley.
Do you think Gaddis is more Stanley, or is he more Wyatt? Or is he more Otto? I think he's more Otto, right? I'm pretty sure someone.
You're asking the guy who thought
Wyatt, a placeholder.
Wyatt died, so.
Yeah, for half the book, I'm pretty sure you thought Wyatt was dead. And I was like, no, he's there.
Yeah.
It's he. He's only named in pronouns. You have to recognize him.
But it's interesting that he has that last line, because it's almost like, because I think we agreed that, when Gaddis published the book, he thought everyone would get it. But at the same time, we have that last line that maybe implies that.
That's the appalling thing, is that he thought for sure that people were gonna the book opens up in Latin, right? Like the first quote is like some obscure thing, and then he just name drops in Latin.
Yeah, I mean the first quote is, I don't read Latin, but it says "Neo cavum nece sine signo apud Deum," which translates to, "There is nothing hollow or without a sign with God."
I have a rule of thumb: if there's a Latin written in a book, do not read it out loud unless you be possessed.
Oh, so you're suggesting I'm possessed?
I wouldn't put it past anybody.
So that's on like the page before the first chapter. And then the very first quote of the first chapter, it's a quote from Faust. So Mephistopheles says, "Was gibt es denn?" or "What is there?" And Wagner says, "Es wird ein Mensch gemacht," or "A human being is made." So it's almost like, if you think about it, almost like the creation of the world. If you think about it, like if this book, as we've read like reviews about it and commentary on it, like represents like the entirety of human existence, the fact that he starts off with "a human being is made" is quite fitting. And then at the end, the main character dies.
Look at you!
Yeah,
I'm proud of you. I like that.
Is it deep?
I think so. Someone out there's gonna be like, it's not that deep.
But then there's probably gonna be somebody else be like, "Oh my gosh."
No, but that's a good point.
Yeah.
Like and the whole book pretty much leans on a Faustian bargain.
Yeah.
So that's pretty darn spot on, man.
I really need to read Faust.
I do too. But there's four different versions of Faust, so we got to pick
like version
Goethe's or Marlowe's or.
So is it based on like a Greek tragedy, or was it?
I thought it was a German tragedy.
But how are there? You mean there's 4 translations or 4 versions?
Different versions.
Really?
Yeah.
So it must come from like a German folklore story or something.
There's someone we could ask. They probably know.
Google.
Yep.
But yeah. But no, yeah. So it's like, it starts with birth, ends with death. Kind of reminds me of Dark Side of the Moon.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, right?
You're not wrong.
Dark Side of the Moon is all about the trajectory of human life. Starts off with birth, ends with death.
And both of them kind of critique the same thing. Modern society, or its modern society.
Yeah, love of money.
Love of money. Illusion of time.
Oh my God.
Losing yourself. Oh man, we need to listen to Dark Side of the Moon now.
Yes. If you're listening, are you ready for Dark Side of the Moon?
It's played in its entirety.
Get ready for 50-odd minutes of Pink
That's
Floyd.
not that long. It's like 40, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty easy record. That's a good one. It's not my favorite Floyd album though.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't listened to every Floyd album. I know I don't like their early stuff. It's too kind of.
Well, you know, like Pipers at the Gates of Dawn.
No.
That's a good one.
No, like I haven't listened to the Final Cut.
You don't really need to listen to the Final Cut.
Really?
I'm not gonna be a hypocrite because I definitely just said if you like a artist, maybe you should listen to it. But if you consider it coming after The Wall,
Yeah.
I mean it's just Roger Waters' solo
Yeah.
project. Anyway, back to Gaddis, not.
Yeah. But it wasn't a complete departure because it's related.
No, you're not wrong.
Wait, Beau, am I ever wrong?
I am in too truthful a mood. Are you?
Yeah, whenever I try to sing song lyrics.
Oh, you're always wrong. I was surprised you got one right today.
Hey, even a
Maybe you need to exhaust yourself a bit more.
even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah,
And as an old man, I'm breaking.
touche, pussycat. Man, Stanley just gets shafted that entire last
No, you mean
part of the book.
like literally get shafted.
Just gets shafted.
Yeah, for those of you who have not read it, the last line. So he was in a church playing a pipe organ, and the church collapsed on him. So that's why he got literally shafted.
Yep.
We're assuming.
I mean, he just a virtuous man as himself is the one that bears all the burdens for pretty much everybody in the rest of the book. And maybe that's the point. As in some Christ-like, attempt, but
Or do you
even
think,
like Anselm,
yeah,
as we all know, like what he was doing, is somewhat redeemed and put in a monastery, and it's like, well, why?
well,
Even the guy who kills Wyatt's mother's kind of not really redeemed.
well, I mean,
He tries to redeem himself.
I don't know if you can say he's redeemed if he was put in a monastery.
But didn't he put himself in there?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're the wrong person to ask.
I'm the wrong person to ask.
There's a book club on Instagram that are reading the recognition. Some people that we know.
Yeah.
They didn't invite
But
us.
I wonder
they
if-
didn't even think they're going to use us as a blueprint.
I wonder if Gaddis, like, through Stanley, was essentially saying, like, nice guys finish last. That old trope.
Maybe I think it's just a projection of his anxieties.
I mean, do you think Gaddis identified with Stanley? Like he was.
No, I think
he was above everybody, and he just like did everything right, but still.
No, I mean, granted, I don't know pretty much anything about Gaddis's life other than the fact that he was an unhappy guy who hated society and wrote beautifully and lived somewhere close to us, I guess. Anyway, that's all I know. So I think he had a low self-esteem and didn't think that anything of his work was better than it actually was, or just hates himself, and I think that's why he's Otto. Because I think Otto pretty much does not like himself as much as he projects to do, I don't know. What was your big takeaway? What was the biggest thing in the novel, like the biggest theme in the novel that hit you?
Biggest theme. Probably that there's nothing pure except for the search for truth.
That's a good one.
I would say.
Yeah.
Because everybody, like, they're all corrupt. Everything they do is corrupt.
Yeah, man
but
is not good in this book.
But in
Man
their...
in general is not a good thing.
But I get the sense that in their efforts, that's kind of where the truth is. I don't know.
That's pretty good. No, absolutely. I mean, in attempts to be creative, Wyatt in his, like, what kind of Puritan-esque Christian indoctrination that he was a part of as a kid, like his aunt abusing him mentally to believe that if he created something organically himself, came straight out of his head, that it was a sin against God. So I mean, like, the only way for Wyatt to express himself was to copy someone else, because it's not a big deal if you copy humans, but if you copy God, full on creation,
kind of blasphemy.
That's blasphemy, exactly. What was my point? Sorry.
Copying God, blasphemy.
Yeah, I lost it.
Oh, you had a Brett Hendricks moment. AKA senior moment.
Oh my Lord.
It'll come back to you though.
I blame the
Do you think who was? That's
Are you gonna ask me who the main character was?
Who's the main character
out of the entire group of cast members? Who was the biggest main character?
This is a completely arbitrary, subjective question.
Nice.
Your favorite?
I love it.
Who do you think was a worse influence on Wyatt? His dad or his aunt?
Worse influence?
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Because his dad just went crazy.
His dad went crazy, yeah. But his dad mainly wasn't even that big of an influence on him.
Oh.
He wanted him to go into the ministry. He was like, all right, did that. Decided no. Goes back after his mental breakdown and realizes that his own father's going crazy, talking about Mithraism.
Yeah.
Mithraism, whatever. I don't know. I think it's his aunt. I mean, it has to be his aunt.
But even before his dad, well, maybe it was during while he was going through his thing, but like, his dad was a complete hypocrite.
Yeah.
Early on, I think even before he started going crazy.
Yeah, that's true. No, but I do think it might have been his aunt, just because her beliefs pretty much set upon Wyatt's own existential
it was
anxiety.
Kind of the capstone that set him off.
Like the reason why he's so paranoid all the time about being an artist and all that is mainly because of her influence. Now, I'm still upset that you don't get the joke about the bowl, and I won't go into detail about it.
No, but
the fact that you didn't pick that up is that what is that one?
And the fact that I asked you to find it for me and you couldn't even find it.
Well, how can I find it? Look at the book. Look at that book. And if I type it into Google, it's just
I actually typed it into Google. I couldn't find it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But something happens with the bull that they look upon.
Yeah.
Blacksmith and.
So
anyway, it's weird.
if you're going through this book and you picked up on it, congratulations.
Yeah,
you and Beau are kinfolk more than him and I. You know what I was just thinking?
Kinfolk.
You know what I was thinking? We're talking about his dad, White's dad, and his aunt. I just made this connection. You ready for it?
Let's do it.
You ready? Do you want to hold your brain before it explodes?
I'll hold my bottle of Topo Chico.
So Wyatt was kind of on his own, just like Gaddis was. So even though Wyatt had a father, his father really wasn't around.
Yeah.
Gaddis didn't have a father. I mean, he did because he's alive, but essentially grew up fatherless.
So yeah, biologically speaking, you need to have a father.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
So I guess what I'm getting at is I wonder how biographical this is in a sense, or how autobiographical it is.
Another layer. An onion is peeled.
Another question for
with
Stephen Moore.
tears in his eyes. This would be much easier if we had a Gaddis scholar with us. I feel like people would get the most out of their buck.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair, they're not paying it for us. They're not paying to listen to this. If anything, we're paying to get it out there.
You're not wrong. Yeah. I wonder. I mean, this whole thing is the artist's struggle,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to be authentic, to actually make something that matters. You know, to identify yourself with sacred reality or a reality that is deeper than our own constant everyday stop and go, you know, move type of life of working.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's one of the wonderful things about the book. I mean, it really is just a wonderful piece of literature. It's just so hard to read sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, so if you work at it, you get those themes really well. I mean, the one that stuck with me the most was the artist's
Yeah.
willful fight to be
Yeah.
authentic and to be real, and what is, you know, recognizing exactly what it is to be human. You know, I mean, the whole character Esther's new husband wanting to use religious iconography in order to sell whatever it is that he's selling. He's a businessman, you know, he's in a marketing team or whatever. Like, that stuff hits me hard. And not because I'm about to drop another Bob Dylan quote, but I mean, it's just like flesh-colored Christ that glow in the dark. It ain't much to see that, you know, it's not hard to see that not much is really sacred. I mean, that's pretty darn accurate. Oh, this is a cute little boy. Sorry. You can hear him grumbling in my ear.
Yeah.
I sleeps on my work computer. That's a good boy. That's a good boy.
Yeah, if you're wondering what Beau is mumbling about, he's talking to his dog right now.
Yeah, cute little puppy.
But we're on a podcast right now.
Sorry. If Goober was here, my cat, if Goober was here, I would do the same thing. It's so cute. When I come home, she's pretty much like, will get on top of the couch and put her arms up until I grab her.
Yeah.
And then she'll just like nuzzle her head right here, and she'll just purr like crazy. It's more like a motor. That's my...
Yeah, I mean, it's as close as I can get to a motor.
You're just like about to hock a loogie. You know, I think that's a lot of things that Gaddis was probably worried about, is people looking going deeply into an artist's personal life. So maybe he wouldn't like what we're doing. Definitely wouldn't like what we're doing.
You think so?
No, absolutely not. I mean, he has the whole point. Like, what is an artist but the dregs of his work? What else do you have left of him when you take it away? I mean, he did not dig the celebrity culture, and rightfully so. I mean, I think celebrity culture is one of the most toxic forms of entertainment.
I'm gonna.
What's
the word? I'm gonna rebut that a little bit. Maybe a counterpoint.
Yeah.
But Gaddis was really concerned about, alongside that, you know, artists is just some of his work. But Gaddis was really concerned with how he would be remembered after he was gone.
He would be, but I don't think he wanted. I think he wanted the legacy to be solely his work, not as who he was in relation to his work. I think he wanted to be separate.
Okay.
And to a point, I get it. Like, I do think celebrity type authors are shallow.
For the most
I think
part.
celebrities in general, across both, you know, all mediums, are shallow forms of entertainment. But I really do think that sometimes, in order to understand a work, like we talked about with Burroughs, you have to have the context.
Yeah.
And, you know, paradoxically, when you become, you know, a reclusive, people want to dig deep more and more.
Oh, like Pynchon.
Yeah.
He's still alive somewhere in New York City. What, he 95 now? Just there's 4 photos of him ever, and even those are speculative.
Yeah. I mean, he is William Gaddis. I like that theory.
Yeah. I mean, I just picture him just like hanging out in New York City, just like you're at a diner, he's eating the table down, and just have no idea.
Yeah, that's something so beautiful. So, yeah, it's just, I'm trying to find the right words, and I can't find them. That's okay.
That's okay. Story of my life.
Yeah, that's another moment for me. I don't think I had much other than the fact that I think it's wonderful that somebody wants to live and die on that claim that, don't separate the art from the artist. But I would argument that sometimes in order to separate, you must have context in some paradoxical way. And I've been trying to work on another paper in my mind, brainstorming about that.
Does that mean you can't articulate it right now?
Because I want to save it for my paper?
No, because you're trying to write something, meaning you haven't fully formulated your ideas?
No, but...
You have the starting point, the end point,
blueprint,
the middle.
The Burroughs. I mean, that was the whole thing about the Burroughs thing was that, yeah, you can't separate the artist from the artist here, and rightfully so, I guess. Maybe not rightfully so, but to critically think about an author's work like Naked Lunch or something like that, but you also need to realize why he wrote that.
So I think I know what you're getting at. I think there's, to use a way overused term these days, it's actually it's a term that is in vogue right now.
Oh, in vogue.
I think it's a more nuanced than that.
Oh, yeah.
For example, I think what you're getting at is, to understand a work, you have to understand a lot behind it.
Easy.
Whereas, in the case of like Arcade Fire,
I knew
you would be different with that. You'd treat it differently.
Oh, speaking of.
Yes.
On my way back today.
Yeah.
Afterlife came on by Arcade Fire.
Yeah.
And I blasted it.
You have to.
It's my favorite song by them.
Yeah.
And I didn't almost cry, but I really got a little, what did that pick off? Up! Ooh. I love those.
Yep.
He just tripped and you put this line. It's a heartbreaking song. And in the context of what we know, it breaks it even more. Because it's such a beautiful song.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of great memories driving home late.
Yeah.
To that song.
Yeah, I mean, I'll forever be an Arcade Fire.
It's so transcendent. I mean, yeah, the classics, those classic albums, The Suburbs, Neon Bible, freaking Reflector, and Funeral.
Yeah.
Those are all essential in the indie rock canon. And it just breaks my flipping heart.
But let me ask you this:
that's someone who put himself as so wholesome, a wholesome family guy, just wanted to make rock music with his wife, does stuff like that. I wish people would be authentic. And so, I don't know why I said it like that,
So I'm gonna ask you a very philosophical question.
Oh, let's go.
So in your mind,
in my mind's eye,
do you differentiate that from all of the rock bands of the 70s and 80s who just didn't pretend to be wholesome but still did essentially the same thing, probably even worse?
Ooh, I'm glad you brought that up.
How would you evaluate that?
I think about that quite frequently. Think about that quite a lot, because that's a lot of my family's generation's music.
I would say when you compare the two, I mean, the bands of the 80s, like Motley Crue and all that, were like,
it's
did stuff way worse.
It's toxic masculinity in its most aggressive form. Maybe not the most aggressive, but I mean, it is weird to see how sexualized people were during that time period. It's so flippin'. Hey, look at that.
Oh yeah, Jordan Walker.
Baseball Zen, baby.
Boom.
It's so flippin' sexist and normalized how, you look at any hair metal band's album covers, women in a dog collar, or they're put up, and it's just so offensive.
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap, yeah. Or you hear the stuff. Ooh, easy, Bubba. Yeah. You hear the stuff about the groupie scene. Like I watched Almost Famous. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's wonderful. But a lot of the groupies, how mistreated they were by men, simply because of like some frick. What's the term? When you like to do stuff way too much.
Fandom?
No, not fandom. It's like a philosophy. Philosophy. Look up philosophy of.
Oh, hedonism?
There we go. Yeah.
But I will say,
like it was hedonistic at its most brutal. Like the things that Zeppelin did to people. Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
You look at these things. I don't think it makes it.
I mean,
it doesn't mean like, oh, it's not that bad comparatively speaking. It's all bad and it all sucks and it all shouldn't happen. But that's.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely...
Human nature's gross, man.
Yeah,
I'm going to get super freaking cynical here in a second.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was bad. I would say...
So whether it's in my head, just because they were so open about it, doesn't make it less, or, that they didn't know any better back then. I mean, that's not the question here. I think it's, for me... because I didn't live in that time period, it's hard for me to judge it other than what I know from what my own moral philosophy is that's stupid, that's dumb. You play music, just act like a normal human being. If you got demons, let's all help each other out. But when somebody blatantly projects themselves, the image itself, and it doesn't add up to the real person.
So what really irks you then is the hypocrisy.
The hypocrisy. Like I listen to that music for a sense of escape and release, and to be pushed as someone who loves, wordplay, or music on a higher level or whatever. Somebody project themselves as being so honest. Sorry, folks. Oh, I didn't mean to. I was wondering what was clinking this entire time. It's this thing. I thought it was you messing with the bottle.
No.
Frick.
I know how to work my bottle, unlike you.
Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, back to the recognitions, hypocrisy is one of the other big themes.
Even Wyatt himself is hypocritical. He values art and looks at art as on like a religious level, follows these people, but yet he can't make his own work anymore. Or the people that are paid to criticize work then will be bought off in order to criticize your work in a good light. So they're not even doing their job.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning of the novel. What are you going to do?
All right, so I have a quote. I don't know if it's related. I think it's tangentially related.
Say tangentially?
Tangentially. Do you know what that means?
Yes, I do.
Like,
I just thought you said something else. I was like, did you miss-say that?
Tangentially. Actually, it's a tough word to say.
You said tangentially.
Tangentially?
God, I'm a child. I am a child.
Get your brain out of the gutter, Beau.
I don't know why.
Would you like me to read this quote?
I do. I love it when you read quotes.
So this is one of the quotes I had tweeted out a while ago, and I don't have a page number on this, so I'm not sure exactly where it's at. But it says, quote, "Suffer barbaric childhood to give and receive remorselessly. Civilized age learns to protect what it has, to neither give nor accept freely, to trust its own mistrust above faith, and intriguing others above the innocent. Intrigue, after all, is rational, something the mind can sink its teeth into and defeat it with the good digestion of reason, a hopeless prospect for the toothless heart, and God only knows what innocence will do next. So prudence rescues the emotions and exiles them out of reach, countenancing only anxious glances from what another hero came forth from the desert to call the hesitating retinue of finer shades. That's one of the most beautiful passages of the book.
Man, that's just
I think, I mean,
that is just exceptional.
Probably out of that.
That takes your breath away, literally, just because of the words.
Oh, it's so well written.
Actually, just.
I think, I mean, this could be another big theme of the entire novel too. This where it says,
expound upon it.
Intrigue, after all, is rational. So, like, the entire novel is him throwing out these obscure references, and it's just like he's intrigued by it. You can tell.
No, he was obsessed with it, and I
the
think he
whole-
wants
this
you to
whole
be.
search with everything.
Yeah, I think he also is forcing the reader and also to go out and on their own pursuit of truth and their own pursuit of transcendence and recognition. You know, so I mean, he's guiding you. I mean, the whole book is structured as if it's like opening as you're going along.
Yeah.
You know, it's not structured as if the book is written finished to end. Like, you're pretty much on a journey, and you're confused. I mean, that's just life in general. You're confused all the time.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, that is a great one.
Yeah. Remember I sent that to you a while back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was my reaction?
It
was
something along the lines
like
of
F yeah.
That was good.
Damn right, that was
or
good.
If we're quoting the kids these days, that was dope.
Oh God, for real, for real.
Would you say William Gaddis had Riz?
What? Is that a new one?
That's what all the kids are saying. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like had I guess it's short for charisma.
I had Riz.
Yeah. I always mess with them by saying, "Oh, that's so Riz," and they just give me like.
See, me and one of my tennis players. He says, you know, as the kids are saying, it's totally Scoobs. Like Scooby snacks. I love it.
Ruh-roh.
He says it so cornily, and that's the point. I love it.
Yeah.
God bless. I love my tennis kids.
But yeah, it's like, if I think on, Gaddis, like, it's clear that he, in a sense, like, exalts intrigue. Like, if you're not intrigued about things, in some ways you've been deceived, I would say.
Yeah, because you're not pushing yourself on another level
to understand, to get down to the truth.
Yeah, and I think most people would do anything they can in order to numb their brain to realize how transient everything really is.
Oh yeah.
People go out of their way to move their attention elsewhere, to keep their brain numb and dumb.
Yeah. I would agree.
So, I mean, yeah, that's why. Moving on, I probably would not recommend this to the average reader.
I would not either.
And I know people would be like, "Oh, why? It's one of the greatest books ever written." You're right. But I would also not tell an average pop listener to listen to Trout Mask Replica by Captain Beefheart. I wouldn't do that.
But I would say, it is universally regarded as one of the most difficult novels to read.
Absolutely. So do I feel like I wasted my time reading this? No.
No, absolutely not.
Not at all. Because if you want to take in good art, if you want to push yourself as an audience member or a listener, reader, viewer, whatever, to participate, you have to get out of your comfort zone, or else you don't reach any meaning. That's what's so stupid about Marvel movies to me. Sorry, I'm gonna side with Martin Scorsese, but they're structured as for people with freaking low attention spans, and there's no consequence
I would
throughout
say
it.
the vast majority of what Hollywood puts out is for people with low attention spans.
I mean, most of mainstream mediocre Hollywood movies are mediocre.
They know it's
going to
sell
because they want to sell the ticket, and whatever. And I do watch Marvel movies. That's also just because I'm a nerd, and there's some that I do watch. But do any of them have any consequence in narrative? No, because like the most recent Spider-Man movie, which was, amazing, They're just undoing exactly what they did immediately. Why? Because they want to just start. They keep starting off.
Well, it's
there's no progress in the narrative.
On a completely I won't say like similar, but like same concept of like the Fast and Furious series.
Oh my god!
Like they are so bad, yet internationally, they just
God.
they make billions of dollars off it.
Oh
like
my god!
I mean, because like for
kids...
example, when I was in the Dominican Republic, like they love that stuff down there. Like they took the entire team, they rented out a theater, and they're just going nuts.
Seriously, like I lose brain cells every single time one of those trailers pops up.
I watched
this movie's so dumb.
Do you remember what I told you about when I was down there? The 2 films I saw,
Oh yeah,
2 movies.
yeah.
I saw probably the 2 worst movies I've ever seen in my life. G.I. Joe,
Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes, and then the Fast and Furious 7, 8, and 9, whichever one that was, came out in 21.
It's just, anyway, if you want to, you have to get out of your comfort zone. If you want to have some sort of experience, no matter what. And it doesn't mean it has to be like abrasively difficult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just different.
But just, yeah, exactly, just different. Like, if someone didn't listen to Pink Floyd before, didn't know anything but like, We Don't Need No Education, Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. Then I would be like, listen to The Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
And in today's culture of popular music, it's a slow burn. So that would be challenging for somebody. Yeah. A modern listener probably would be a little bit challenged by Dark Side of the Moon for some reason.
Yeah, every time I recommend that to a student, I just say, go home, lock yourself in your bedroom, put your headphones in, just lay down in your bed, just listen to it. Take an hour, just listen to it.
Music. I love doing that.
Because it's
I
like,
can do that for frickin' hours.
You know, the entire album is a journey. You know, what the kids are listening to these days are just like singles. So there's no real context to it. But back when,
Beau, what are you doing, my guy?
Oh, Beau.
I like that kid.
Yeah, he's cool. If you're listening, we're in the game right now. The center fielder so ran the ball. Yeah. But yeah, it's like, you know.
And a player that we both admire scored. So that's kind of cool.
But yeah, you know, it's like, you know, kids these days, you know, they don't really understand the value of like
she was going to let up at third.
Yeah. You know, because back in the day, you know, there are still a lot of bands that make them today, but you know, the whole concept of a full album is kind of going by the wayside.
I don't know if it's wayside, but it's definitely shifted. I know a lot of pop artists, like they strategically release singles or songs or their songs are structured so they can get as much royalties as quick as possible. Yeah. Because I think on like Spotify and stuff,
you have to get to a certain like second. Yeah.
So a lot of them, like, there's not a big intro. Like Rush probably wouldn't be popular if they were like a newer band. You know what I mean?
I wanted to go to a Rush concert so bad, and now I can't because they're broken up because Neil Peart died.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Did I tell you what my new project is right now? I'm going through all of the albums of Rush.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm just revisiting some of them. I'm just going in like weird order.
How many they got? Like 30 something?
No, not 30. I mean, it's a quite good amount.
There were a lot though.
Yeah. Go ahead, ask me my favorite Rush record.
Beau, what is your favorite Rush record?
Grace Under Pressure.
Ooh, what year did that come out?
1986.
Oh, that was like during like their synth phase, wasn't it?
So it's like some people don't like it. I love that era. Yeah. And that album, when I was in high school, I was like, why? And this album's so good. No one talks about it.
So synths can either be really good or really corny.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. When Van Halen uses it, corny.
Yeah.
When like, Rush uses it, I feel like it's natural.
For like all the new wave artists.
Oh, corny, but also great.
Yeah,
it's corny and great. Yeah. I love new wave music. So but I mean, like, in a sense, it can be quite corny if it's like really bad. Yeah, you know. But it's also fun. And like Duran Duran is like one of the corniest bands to me.
And Beau, you're not gonna be surprised that I throw this out there.
No, probably not.
Do you know which author was a huge influence on the Rush lyrics?
Yes, I know. It's Ayn Rand. We talk about this. But, apropos, Neil Peart I was reading on some of the Wikipedia. The Ayn Rand only influenced one record, and it was 2112.
Oh, really?
And it was, basically just about the individual rising up against some totalitarian, universal regime. After that, though, Neil Peart was like, yeah, it was just one phase of my life. I was just intrigued by her philosophy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and his politics, quite the opposite.
Oh, really?
Of Ayn Rand, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I find it very intriguing. I find that stuff intriguing. Why? Because I like, that's a critical thinking person. That's somebody who's like, they don't align with me, but they have something interesting to say. Will I read Ayn Rand? No.
Oh, dang. That's the next question I was going to ask you.
Look, I'm not a brilliant drummer and also a fantastic lyricist.
Oh, it's such a great album, though. Or not album, great novel.
I'll read it one day.
At the very least, it's like, okay, forget what it's about. The prose itself is just beautiful.
I'll read it. I'll read it. I'm a man of my word.
Are we going to shake on it?
Yeah, I'll shake
Okay.
on it. There's no visual proof that it happened.
Did the mics pick up any sound of that handshake?
No.
Oh, dang it.
I'll listen to it.
Yeah.
There's going to be a weird gap.
Yeah.
Shake on it? Yep. Nothing. Audio cuts dead. Oh, look. We have to redo it again. Anyway.
Not for a third time.
Not for a third time.
I think this one's been pretty good so far.
You think not too many tangents?
No, I think tangents are fine.
I'm always nervous. So yeah.
Are you nervous the tangent police are gonna come and like knock on your door?
Yeah, you guys have nothing, important to say. So why say anything at all?
You're getting a citation for too much persiflage.
Sign Stephen Moore.
He just shows up.
Dude, if he showed up right now, I'd give him a hug.
Yeah.
I think he's a wonderful person. I love talking to him. Or not talking to him.
I mean, you didn't even talk to him. Yeah.
No, like listening to him talk at the Gaddis expose.
Yeah.
Man, like you just... The room of people that we were around. What was the Nova Spark? Jim Greer?
Jim Gower was there before I even knew about him. And then I picked up his book in South Carolina.
And then I look on like Bookstagram and all the the people that we follow, like they all like Leaf by Leaf and all that, they all adore it.
Yeah, he wrote Leaf by Leaf wrote the afterword for it, right?
It was so weird because we were just like, I was just like gawking at this dude. I was like, that dude just got asked to get a book signed. Like, can you believe that? Who is this dude? And we were just like some like really respected author. I'm like, dude, I teach. I'm an ISS teacher. I'm sitting in here because on a whim I looked up that this was happening. Yeah. Like how frickin' I almost lived. How serendipitous this whole thing lined up. We were just figuring out William Gaddis.
Yeah.
Oh, the people that spoke there. I wish I could have I wish that we can bring them on and and help our audience see things that definitely we can't see because we're not Gaddis.
You know what? I wonder if we could send out a link to the seminars. They're somewhere, right?
Oh, maybe. Would they want us to do that?
Well, I don't know. I mean...
Who's to say? Yeah. The guy who ran it. All we gotta do is go up to Canada, find him. He's from Canada, right? He was from Canada.
No. The guy... I thought he was from he taught at some New York school.
I don't know. Either way.
Yeah, the moderator?
Yeah.
Yeah, the moderator, he teaches at some school up in upstate New York, I think.
Oh.
One of the SUNY schools. Ooh, that was very convenient.
Yes, it was. So anyway, the recognitions. Is it a 10 out of 10?
Based on what?
I don't know.
What category?
Let's base its merits off of
Are we comparing it?
Of the technical aspects of the novel. Is it a 10 out of 10? Absolutely.
As an artistic creation, yes, I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
There we go.
Now, compared to Infinite Jest, I think Infinite Jest was a 10 for me. If Infinite Jest was a 10, I would give Recognitions I don't know, probably 7.
I'd give this a 9. I think it's a good place marker for, a certain type of reader that you must go for it. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to read the Recognitions.
Yep.
And Infinite Jest.
No big deal.
No.
And,
Small tasks, some would
and
say.
here in about a year, Proust, In Search of Lost Time.
Oh, yeah, I didn't, my quote got cut off
Yeah.
from Gaddis about Proust. That was going to be the reveal, gosh darn it.
Well, consider what I just said like the light review.
Reading Proust isn't just reading a book. It's an experience, and you can't reject an experience.
Cannot reject experiences.
So, that is what we're reading next. The whole symposium of In Search for Lost Time.
Yes, all 7 volumes.
Yep.
Some translations have it in 6 volumes. The reason ours is 7 is because we found out that Penguin they released the final translation. They did it in 7 volumes.
It's Lydia Davis.
Yes, in January.
Uh-huh.
And to be fair, I think we picked this. Part of it is because we like the cover designs.
Yes. And Proust is an essential author.
So we are.
And it does match our stipulations of tomes.
Boom.
We did specify, and we specify for this exact reason.
Yes.
Because we wanted to read a collection of work. And that is how Marcel would have wanted it. Because that's how he said it. And you know what? Without Marcel Proust, we would not have Jack Kerouac. Because that was the biggest thing. You're supposed to read Jack Kerouac in the same way. It's all one big book.
Yeah. So our next episode, we're going to give an intro to it, give our initial thoughts before even starting to read it. We'll give you guys some background on it, just our initial thoughts. We'll riff on some things and just, it'll be a journey. It'll probably take us a lot longer than Infinite Jest or The Recognitions, just because it is 3,500 pages. But
Yeah.
I mean, out of 7 volumes, I think the shortest is like 400 and something pages.
It's going to be a good one. I mean, this summer, we're going to knock out a whole heck of a lot, and it's going to be nice.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a book a month done over the summer. We'll see.
I think we can manage.
I don't know. You overestimated your pace of Gaddis by like 2 months. 6 weeks.
A month.
A month.
A month.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Any other thoughts you got? Before we wrap this up, like a burrito at Qdoba?
No, I prefer Chipotle, but I get what you're saying.
Boom. You know what? I prefer Chipotle too. I don't know why I said Qdoba.
Just because it's right down the street.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I don't know this area.
That's pretty bad. Yeah. Hope everyone has a great day.
Yep.
When they listen to this. I hope you're enjoying whatever you're reading. Let us know. Email us. OnceUponATome.
Yeah.
22@gmail.com.
Yeah, send us a direct message on Twitter, Instagram. We'll be sure to give a shout out to you. And we'll send you some merch,
It's just a baseball card.
So far, we've only sent merch out to 2 people.
2 people. We probably need to send one out to Myers. Make it fictional. Our boy John Wayne.
Oh, John Wayne up in Canada, eh?
We should do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, happy reading.
We'll catch you next time.
Yep.
Peace.
Bye.